The incessant dripping of a leaky faucet echoed through the desolate apartment, each drop a reminder of the silence that enveloped the place. Moonlight sliced through the gaps in the blinds, painting silver stripes across the worn floorboards, creating an eerie pattern that danced with the shadows. I sat alone, shrouded in shadow, a discordant symphony of police chatter crackling from the radio on my desk, the static a constant companion in my solitary vigil. Another murder, another baffling riddle wrapped in a cloak of darkness. The city seemed to be drowning in a sea of unsolved mysteries. They call me the Man of Thoughts, a title that carries both respect and fear. A whisper in the night, a phantom that haunts the minds of criminals, a silent guardian of the city's darkest corners. They don't see me, but they feel my presence, lurking in the shadows of their meticulously planned crimes. A ghostly figure that disrupts their sinister plans. I see through their facades, unraveling the intricate tapestry of their thoughts. My mind a labyrinthine mirror reflecting their own twisted logic, a maze they cannot escape. Tonight the air crackled with a familiar electricity, a prelude to the storm that was about to break. The victim, a prominent businessman, found lifeless in his impenetrable penthouse. No forced entry, no witnesses, no apparent motive. A puzzle that begged to be solved. A locked room mystery, they called it. A scenario that defied logic and reason. But to me, it was an open book. A story whispered in the chilling language of human psychology, each page revealing a new clue. The police were baffled, chasing shadows and dead ends, but I knew better. I could see the threads that connected the seemingly unrelated pieces. I knew the secrets that lurked within the human psyche, the hidden levers that could be manipulated, the vulnerabilities that could be exploited. I understood the dark desires that drove men to commit unspeakable acts. This wasn't just a crime, it was a meticulously crafted performance, a macabre play of shadows and deception, with each move calculated to perfection. And I, the Man of Thoughts, had a front row seat, watching the drama unfold, ready to step in and bring the curtain down on this dark tale. The first act of our play unfolded in the businessman's office, a cathedral of glass and steel overlooking the sprawling cityscape. The view was breathtaking, a stark contrast to the chaos that would soon be discovered within its walls. The police saw chaos, but I saw order within the chaos. A meticulously staged scene designed to mislead. Every detail was carefully crafted to tell a story, but not the true one. Papers were scattered, furniture overturned, a picture frame shattered on the floor, a desperate struggle implied but not real. It was a scene straight out of a crime novel, but with one crucial difference. It was all a facade. This was the illusion of choice, a well-known psychological phenomenon. It tricks the mind into believing it has control, when in reality, the options are carefully curated to lead to a predetermined outcome. Our minds crave control, a sense of agency in a world often beyond our grasp. We want to believe that our choices matter, that we are the masters of our fate. The killer, a master manipulator, understood this primal need. They knew how to exploit it. How to create a narrative that would be irresistible to the human mind. By creating the illusion of a struggle, a fight for survival, they were in fact planting a seed, a narrative that would take root in the minds of the investigators, leading them down a predetermined path. It was a masterstroke of psychological manipulation. They would look for signs of forced entry, an intruder, a robbery gone wrong. They would follow the breadcrumbs left for them, never realizing they were being led astray. They would chase ghosts, while the real culprit, the puppet master pulling the strings, vanished into the labyrinthine city, their true motive shrouded in darkness. The illusion of choice had done its job, leaving the investigators grasping at shadows. Days turned into nights, the city holding its breath, the killer's macabre masterpiece splashed across the front pages of every newspaper. The police, desperate for a lead, clung to the illusion of a random act of violence, their investigation spiraling into a vortex of dead ends. This is where the power of confirmation bias took hold. We see what we want to see, believe what confirms our existing beliefs. The police, blinded by their initial assumptions, were blind to the subtle inconsistencies, the whispers of a different narrative hidden in plain sight. A misplaced book on the businessman's shelf, a subtle discrepancy in his financial records, a seemingly innocuous detail about his daily routine. These were the breadcrumbs, the whispers of truth that I, the man of thoughts, could decipher. Section 4. Anchoring to assumptions. The human mind, for all its complexity, is remarkably susceptible to manipulation. We latch onto the first piece of information we receive, the anchor, and let it color our perceptions, even when presented with contradictory evidence. The police, anchored to the assumption of a robbery, failed to see the forest for the trees. The killer knew this. They used this anchoring bias to their advantage, leaving a trail of false leads, red herrings designed to reinforce the initial narrative, solidifying the illusion they had so carefully constructed. The more the police investigated, the deeper they dug themselves into a hole of their own making, their every move playing into the killer's hands. Section 5. Framing the narrative. The investigation was a runaway train, hurtling towards a predetermined conclusion. The killer, a master storyteller, had framed the narrative, controlling the flow of information, manipulating the perceptions of the investigators. They understood the power of framing, how the same event could be perceived in vastly different ways depending on the context, the language used, the details emphasized or omitted. They knew that the human mind seeks patterns, narratives, explanations for the chaos that surrounds us. And so they provided a narrative, a plausible explanation that fit within the confines of the police's preconceived notions. A story that would lead them away from the truth, deeper into the labyrinth of the killer's design. Section 6. The Bystander Effect. As the city held its breath, fear permeating the streets like a suffocating fog, another psychological phenomenon came into play, the bystander effect. We've all heard the stories, witnesses to a crime, yet no one intervenes, paralyzed by inaction, lulled into a false sense of security by the assumption that someone else will take responsibility. The killer, a keen observer of human nature, exploited this apathy. They chose their victims carefully, individuals who lived solitary lives, their absences unnoticed, their disappearances blending seamlessly into the fabric of the city's indifference. No one saw, no one heard, no one spoke. The killer moved through the city like a phantom, their crimes hidden in plain sight, protected by the collective silence of a society too preoccupied with its own anxieties to notice the shadows lurking at the edges of their perception. Section 7. A final thought. The case, as with all my investigations, left an indelible mark on my psyche, a chilling reminder of the fragility of our perceptions, the ease with which our minds can be manipulated, our judgments clouded by our own biases and assumptions. The killer was never caught, their motives forever shrouded in mystery, but their crimes served as a stark reminder, a chilling testament to the dark potential that lurks within the human psyche, the shadowy recesses where logic and reason give way to the primal forces of fear, manipulation, and the chilling allure of the unknown. Remember, the mind is both a weapon and a vulnerability. It is in the understanding of this duality that we find the key to unlocking the secrets of human behavior, to navigating the treacherous landscape of our own minds, and perhaps to outwitting the shadows that lurk within us all. As I reflect on this journey, I realize that every case, every mystery, is a piece of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that reveals the complexities of the human condition. Each clue, each revelation brings us closer to understanding not just the criminal mind, but the very essence of what it means to be human. And in that understanding, we find the strength to face the unknown, to confront the darkness and to emerge stronger on the other side.